Hi, I'm Rowan,
Hi, I'm Zach.
and this is episode 2.8 of In the Zone. Today we'll be talking about the lateness of the hour. So you can check it out beforehand because we're going to spoil the whole plot. Any thoughts before we begin?
You should check it out beforehand because we're gonna spoil the whole plot.
Deja vu. Now, I want to discuss something. This episode looks different from, every episode we've seen up till now. And that's because instead of being filmed on film like all the other 43, in the second season, for budgetary reasons, because they would always go over budget, they decided you can still spend that money, but be under budget if we film some stuff in videotape because it's cheaper, and you can see why it looks kind of strange.
Just a question. How much cheaper is film than videotape? Videotape
Well,
than film?
I don't know.
Because it kind of seems like the difference between videotape and film won't be, nearly the budget they'll need. Because I feel like they're operating on a much bigger scale than that.
But film looks a lot better.
Yeah.
And so they did that for 6 episodes. This is the first one. In the second season, we'll be seeing 5 more. It feels very live, and there's a lot more camera movement. You don't see a lot of the back and forth. Mainly, you just have a lot of people in the frame talking, rather than being up close and going back and forth. So it's a lot less interesting, I think. Maybe it's the way the camera is, you can't get as close. Something like that.
Also, I feel like when the camera is moving with the shot sometimes that's when the quality gets sketchy. Or when there's a lot of stuff in it.
Or when there's fire, there's a bunch of something about the exposure.
That's the time when I really noticed it, and I was planning on mentioning it.
So we're in a mansion, and it's very rainy, very fake rainy. We have a young woman who's looking outside the window, and she's a young adult, meaning not a teen, but she's an adult, just a younger adult. And so she's with her parents, and she's looking at this photo album. And her mother is getting a massage, which we can hear.
Yeah, it gets old after a while. Should I slowly grunt while you say this so that to annoy the viewers?
No. They've already seen the episode beforehand. Well, they're supposed to follow our instructions, so obviously. We learned from good expository dialogue that all she does is look at the photo album. Here's the line. All you do is look at that photo album. But, it's fine. And she's like, ooh, look at this photo. And the woman says that Nelda, the masseuse.
Is that what you say?
Yeah, is giving her a massage, and it's a Nelda, and she doesn't look a day older now in present day than she did in the photo. How strange. There's a lot of stuff about how it's the optimum temperature in the house, and the fireplace is built to give the best heat, the chair for the most comfort, the ceilings for the best acoustics.
How it's efficient.
Right, Jaina says this in an angry way.
Yeah, it's not saying it as if you're appreciating it.
Right. So the servant, of course, Nelda keeps doing the whole thing. Haven't you had enough? Yes, exactly. And it's a very relatable moment. We wanted to stop. Jaina wants it to stop. Do you recognize Jaina?
Oh, is she in another episode? Oh, is she Helen Foley?
She's Nan Adams. Do you recognize the mom?
Oh. Think.
The mom from Walking Distance.
Oh, that's more acceptable.
Right. She's like, why don't we just eat at a restaurant instead of here?
I think I remember her line. We get some greasy, unpalatable food.
Right, then they'll walk in the rain.
And it's sopping wet.
And she's like, well, it would be different. And then more massaging. Don't make her do that anymore.
Then it's good because her outbursts are almost exactly at the time when you would just start yelling at the TV.
And then Jaina is mad. She says this army of domestics does everything but breathing for them.
The get angry at stuff does get a little bit repetitive.
I was about to say the same thing. I was going to say problem with this episode. Probably the biggest problem. She starts out angry and then she stays angry. It's pretty boring. Just what if she starts out realizing this is messed up? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
She's talking about how she's angry at the servants. He says, you agree, Nelda? And then all the servants enter. And the father is like, we have no secrets here. And Jaina says, that's all we have. Secrets. We shut ourselves off. "You sound jealous." Oh, right. Then a servant who's on the staircase says, "You sound jealous." Pushes the servant.
Jaina shoved.
Servant rolls down the stairs and
Yeah,
looks up and
I thought that was
smiles.
a little bit weird because the push just like didn't seem strong enough to send the servant down the stairs. But you know,
Whatever.
if you actually shove someone down the stairs, then they could get hurt.
Right? I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but then the servant smiles, and it's always
It's very cool, actually.
it's a weird smile, but it's a good moment in the episode.
And then the father's like, "These people have no life until I gave it to them." And then all the servants exit, and then while they're going off, Rod comes on and talks for a little while. Says, they're all robots. Did you, before any of this happened where they talked about giving them life, did you suspect that they could have been robots?
I actually suspected that Laura and his wife and Jaina were like.
His name's not Lauren,
No, his last name's Lauren.
or something like that. His first name's William, actually.
Yeah. But like I kind of suspected that those three were robots, but not the domestics.
Interesting. Why did you suspect they were robots?
It was just too I thought that the whole like efficiency thing was weird, the maximum efficiency, and I thought that that's like something, and I was kind of thinking that maybe the twist is that like robots have taken over and enslaved mankind or something.
Oh, you thought it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So fade to black. Then when we fade up, the father is talking with Jaina, talking about how unhappy she is.
Like, this is a little bit repetitive. Like, a lot
yeah.
of the episode is father talking to Jaina.
Pretty repetitive, which is unfortunate. Because you could touch on a lot of things if you wanted to.
Yeah. Like,
This episode.
I mean, she threatened to run away a lot. I mean,
That was cool. Yeah, I think
feel like-
I think at one point she packed her bags.
I feel like if she like was going and then like the servants were blocking her or something, that would have been cool.
Maybe. He says, "I explained to you why I built these people." And Jaina is mad. He says they turned her into a freak who was not, been into the outside world. And the father says, "Well, I'm just protecting you." So then the mom takes some pills with the water, and then while Nelda's walking out, Jaina goes, "Nelda." She takes the water, pours it out, smashes it, glass break.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure that the glass actually broke.
I
That
am
wasn't
pretty sure
just
it
an
broke.
effect. Really? Because it wasn't like a great shattering sound.
Right, it wasn't a great sound, and
It was
obviously the glass breaks are better when you see them. You know,
Yeah.
when you have a choice between showing someone break a glass and then not cutting to the glass, or showing someone break a glass and then cutting to the glass shattering, always go for option number 2. Then a guy mops it up. I recognize that guy also. He was an extra in Monsters Are Doing Maple Street. Or not an extra, but he had a few lines.
Lots of people had a few lines in that episode.
She wants them to be dismantled. And the father says that would be a waste of all his time. Because they're so intricate. For example, they have these memory tracks, and they can tell you everything about their childhood, but it never happened. They were created as you see them today. And so she says she wants something more out of life than massages and pipes.
So like they have a bit of an argument about whether the machines are actually alive. Or
Well,
like, if
not
they have
actually
life or
alive, but if they
something,
have like souls and stuff like
or
that.
life.
The father says this would, it would be like killing them, which is, a reused theme from The Lonely, which, I think The Lonely was great, because that's basically a big chunk of what it was about. This briefly touches on it. I would have liked more of that. Is this the right thing to do? Because even though I put in hard work, they also pretty much have souls at this point.
Difference between The Lonely and this episode.
The Lonely was
linear
better.
progression of robot story. This episode, circle of robot story, which then eventually escapes like vaguely.
Finally, she says, "Get rid of them or I'm gonna leave." She wants freedom. And the father says it isn't possible. And then when she's going upstairs, the servants are all like, "Oh, you're so disrespectful. Oh, that's unforgivable. I wouldn't say that if I were you." I like the overlapping dialogue the servants have when they talk as a unit. That's cool. That's good stuff. And then at the top of the stairs, Jaina has some kind of speech. I don't remember. Wasn't really important. Ended with, "They may be indestructible," and then directed at the father, "But you are not."
Her speech is kind of just like, shut up.
Yes. Then fade to black. Then father is in her bedroom where Jaina, I
Actually,
think, has her stuff packed. Father talks of a cow. No, the father talks of how,
Not of a cow.
the father talks of how, he and her mom love her. And he begs her to stay, but she won't. And he promises to dismantle the robots. And then she goes, Gretchen, Susanna, Nelda,
Suzanne.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace. I thought it would have been great if she was like, rest in pieces.
Rest in peace, nay. Rest in pieces. You gotta call this up for some quick rewrites.
Yeah.
Then, the robots come to the father, and he tells Robert to take the servants downstairs and wait. They're like, and then they do the whole overlapping dialogue thing, and
kind of.
they complain. They're like, hey, we're great. Hey, I'm the best butler. Ooh, I'm so good at fixing stuff. And then he says, Robert, you have your orders. And then we cut. We have a,
I
cut.
just thought of like, Robert. Robot. Coincidence? I think not.
So then we have a pillar shot of a window, and then William the father is done dismantling. The mother is like, it will be difficult. Yes, in the beginning. Jaina excitedly looks around. No robots. She comes down and hugs her mother, and she says, "Oh, we can have parties and make friends, and then I'll meet a man, and we'll have grandchildren. We'll live like normal people. What's the matter?" And
and
then,
like they flip out right at
Yeah.
the grandchildren.
and then the mother says, "It's what you said about grandchildren." And the father's like, what he means is that it's difficult for parents to think of their children as adults.
The delivery of this was very bad, I think. Like the delivery of the twist, like you kind of want a sudden twist. Like the twist had been partially revealed for a while, but I feel like they still thought that the viewers might not know. It was a slow reveal of the twist.
I know. It wasn't... Yeah, but I liked it. I liked the way it was.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, Eye of the Beholder. There's no change. She's beautiful. Wait, what's going on? Oh, they're pig people. It's kind of like, the same thing, saying...
But it's just
Oh, they're weird. They're being weird about it. Oh, she has a memory track. Oh, she's a robot. I don't know. I thought it was fine. I think it's not... I think it's a good twist in terms of, as a plot device. I think the little hints are good. I think they're great. And I think the way it's revealed, a slow reveal, I think that's totally fine.
One thing is, like, she goes to the photo album and she's like, there are no photos of me as a child. And then they're like, you remember your child, you remember every school you've been to.
Right.
And it's like the thing that a lot of everything is guilty of. It's like an inconsistent level of detail, and you put in sometimes you have much more detail than others, and you put in more detail for relevant
Well, you aren't
facts.
making any sense.
I think I'm making sense.
No, you aren't making any sense. So what do you mean you are putting in details?
No, well, like, earlier in the episode, they said, like, they have memory tracks, and they remember everything about their childhood, and it was a very long monologue. And then later it's reused, and it was just glaringly obvious the second time, because...
What is glaringly obvious?
That she's a robot.
Well, yes, because they're revealing like she's a robot. It's not like a hint.
I guess. They could have...
That's like saying, when he saw the telephone poles, then I totally knew he was on Earth. That really gave it away.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So,
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
So, right, so she says there's no photos of her as a little girl. Why? It's not true. It couldn't be. Please tell me. Don't please say it's not true. What do you think about the acting in this episode? I'm not really sure. It's, the acting is pretty good. It's no Hitchhiker, I would say. It's not as good as Hitchhiker.
I thought that their crying could have been a lot better.
So his defense is, you remember everything. Wait a minute, I have a memory track. I'm a robot.
Yeah.
What am I? And he says, it doesn't make a difference. We were childless, so we got you. And what I like about this is, he makes a totally reasonable argument. But his problem is, leading her to believe that she's a human. Obviously, eventually, he's gonna have to tell her, and that's not good. That was his mistake. And her mistake, obviously, it's reasonable that she is mad that she is being completely isolated and that she has been lied to, but she needs to understand their position. She needs to realize, okay, I'm a robot. Well, then I can do whatever I want. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I thought was cool about this episode was it kind of foretells a little bit of like what might happen in the future, right? Like it talks in a way of like true artificial intelligence, which is something that we still haven't had, and it's like a big thing that's been discussed, but I don't think it was really talked about a lot at the time.
Perhaps not. So,
that was a little cool.
So she says, you manufacture me, like you make the butler be a butler, you make the cook be a cook, you make the daughter be a daughter, She doesn't laugh. And then they say, it doesn't matter, you're our daughter. And she says, I can't be your daughter, I'm a thing, I'm a machine.
This is the weird part, like,
why is it weird?
No pain, no pain.
That part's
no
awesome.
Pain,
She
no
hits herself on it.
You do
like
wonder,
goes,
how did that was convincing. Like, how did they pull that off?
Well, she just hurt herself, you know, who cares?
No, I know,
she
but
paid.
like, she did a good job.
That's a cool moment.
Like,
that's very clever of her going, no pain.
The acting was bad until then, I think. Or, like, not bad, but that was a good acting moment.
Right. She says, no love, I can't even feel love. And the mother's like, everything's changed now. It'll never be the same. What will you do with her? And then she goes, you wouldn't. And he says, no, I couldn't stand not having her here. And then he goes, in his mind, light bulb, wait, win-win. He doesn't say this out loud, but the subtext is, she can still be around, and we can also have a servant, because it'll be her. Then, later, the mother is groaning from a massage. A little to the left, Nelda. And up. And then we have the biggest music stab. It's like someone dropped a piano on another piano. That's what it sounds like. It's like
yeah.
And it's
like,
Jaina being a soulless robot named Nelda. And that's the end.
It kind of reminds me of like the Mighty Casey sound effects, only on steroids.
What did you think of this episode?
I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I thought it was... Okay, I'll give a range of 3 numbers. 4 to 7.
Okay, well that's more like 4 numbers actually. I feel like this has a cool mood. I think the idea is great. I think someone realizing everything is a lie, that's cool. Problems are, from the beginning,
repetitive.
Yeah, it's very repetitive. And right off the bat, she's angry. The acting is fine. It's nothing too special, I would say. I
don't think the acting is good enough or bad enough to affect the rating.
Yes, I would absolutely agree with you. I like the whole concept of, you know, this guy who wants to keep himself protected, and he has to, and how that's what he wants, but this person who he creates for companionship, that's not what they want. It's another cool thing, another thing I love from The Lonely about, about robots having feelings and treating them how they want to be treated and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, so do you want to give it a rating?
Not quite yet. I think I can narrow down my numerical range.
I would give this episode it's almost a 6, but I would give it a 6.5.
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of like the whole mood, and just how big of a deal it is that they're spending their whole lives stuck in this place, and this person is trying to get out. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. What? I mean, I think I'll go with 6.5 too.
Great. Well, that was our episode. Oh, we didn't even talk about it. What is up with the title? The Lateness of the Hour?
Yeah.
One of the worst titles in terms of it's not having anything to do with anything.
But, like, at least it was a title.
At least it didn't say Jaina is a robot.
Yeah. And I mean,
be third from the sun.
It was kind of...
Oh, what if it was called Robot Daughter?
It was kind of a cool, it was at least cool title, right?
It was at least cool because you're like, I don't know what this has to do, it's a fun mystery.
No, like, it was irrelevant, but it was still kind of a decent title.
Just the way it was, I don't know, whatever.
I mean, at first she did suggest to not have dinner at 6 and to have it earlier and later, and I think that's the very closest they get.
Maybe the Lateness of the Hour is like
there's also like
or something.
There's also a recurring clock that you see.
Yes, there is actually. But either way,
We
next
don't know.
episode, we're going to be talking about The Trouble with Templeton, and we'll see you then.